All right, everybody. So pretty much what we're going to be doing is drawing our levels of supply and demand, our more major levels on the weekly time frame and then the daily time frame. I'm going to be showing you guys how I do it and how you can potentially do it as well. At the end of the day, how you draw your levels is up to you. What's more important is how you identify these levels. Now, when it comes to me, one thing that I like to do when it comes to the weekly time frame, then we'll work our way down to the daily, is look for the more major rejections. So notice how price just hit this price point here, then had a huge move to the upside. Also, notice how we have an initial rejection here, we have an initial rejection of support here, and then we had a big move to the upside. So when I look at price, this is what I'm currently seeing. Huge move to the upside. Notice again, another rejection. This is what I see right here. Huge move to the upside. So now that I've identified this area as being our potential support and resistance level, our main level of supply and demand, what I'm going to be doing is putting a random horizontal line here. I'm going to be making this black, and I'm just going to be looking for the best possible price to put this at, where I have the most touches and what makes the most sense to me. So 1687 is going to be the level that I decided to have the actual horizontal line marked off at. Now what I'm going to be doing is just simply modifying this to 1680, keeping the round numbers there. See how that looks. You know, it's okay. I'm going to check it on the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, I'm going to keep it just like this. So 1680. Now what I'm going to be doing is going to settings. I'm going to lock it. And then I'm going to add a text to this, calling this my weekly level. Weekly 1680, supply and demand. Right, so there we go. So I have my first level marked off there on the weekly time frame. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to just simply continue, which this could be another level right here, but this is probably going to look better off on the daily. 1748. So I'm going to mark this off here as well, because notice, actually I'll explain that in a second. I'm going to mark this off here as well. And I'm going to, what if I put it at 1650, which should be 20 pip difference. I don't really like it. Kind of lower it. Let's just do 1648. I'm going to keep the whole round numbers. I'm going to do weekly supply and demand. 1748, my apologies. All right. Now, why I've decided to actually put my first two levels of supply and demand here is fairly simple. One, precision and accuracy with price. Notice how everything looks very, very clean. This is where we have the majority of the rejection. Even though I know that this is a zone and the entire zone could be drawn out just like this, I don't want to clog up my chart. And that's the important thing to me is chart work, right? Keeping your charts nice and clean. So now notice on the 4-hour time frame, when I look at these levels themselves, we see very, very clean levels of rejection. Notice all this consolidation towards our daily level of supply or our weekly level of supply and demand. Notice all this consolidation here. But more importantly, look at the rejections we get off of these levels. That's what's more important to me, right? So very clean, very clear. If we bump it down to the daily time frame, we can see we have supply and demand playing out quite nicely, and we see that the market makers are pushing price from this zone roughly every single time. Now, why I decided to put my second level up here was very, very simple, because this is where price actually halted and paused for quite some time, and then actually came back down and continued to go up from this area. So once price rejected 1680, we came all the way to 1748, and then notice the struggle here as well, right? Now, actually, I remember trading this area here too. This is where I had my 100K day on FCMO. So that was great. So that's why I decided to place that there. And we could just see this level of supply and demand currently working with current price action. So we know the best area to buy in this situation. Wouldn't be right now, but would be to see if price can actually come down here and then look to take a buy position from this point on. So we're actually going to continue here and see what else we can actually come up with. I want to say this would be another one, this 1830 level. 1830, we're going to put weekly 1830 supply and demand. And we're going to lock this here as well. Let's go to the daily, see what that looks like. That looks great. And then I feel like we can add one more level here, which could be right here, even though that's far-fetched into the future. 1900, what does that look like? Well, it might be a little bit too much, but I'll leave it there for now. What I'm going to do, again, go back. Weekly 1900 supply and demand. Done. Can I move it? I'm going to have to edit that. So let me go to coordinates, 1900. Okay. Then we're going to lock it. Done. Alright, so that is the last level. And that's how I place my levels here on the weekly. And typically when you have your levels placed out on the weekly, they work very well. The same with the daily. Now the thing about it is though, when it comes down to like your main levels of support and resistance on the daily time frame, like let's say you see like this level right here of support. Normally what I would do is just draw out zones while price is trading in that area, just like this, so I know that I'm at trading above support right now, and I'm probably going to be looking to go long because price is failing to break support. And that's just how I draw it out on the daily. On the daily, I typically just use zones, but that's how you can draw out your support and resistance supply and demand levels there on the daily. Again, you don't want to do too much, but you want it to be as effective as possible. And again, when it comes to the daily time frame, you see we have resistance here. Just simply click, drag, drop, and drag it out into the future, and you could see it kind of play out there. Notice the break above, the pullback, the retest, and notice the weekly rejection of 1830 there as well. Very clean. You want to keep your charts as clean as possible. Whoops. But have as much detailed information as possible when it comes to your trades or when it comes to your levels, so that you can anticipate future trades and kind of know where price could potentially head next. So what we're doing is we're trading with ranges here. So we know that, hey, price rejected this 1680 level. We're probably going to go back up into 1748. Hey, price broke above 1748. Let's see if we come back down into the 1748 for a retest before continuing to go up. Now, as you can see, this is a level here on the daily, which I'm going to actually mark off. What I'm going to do, I would say probably right here works best. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to change this color. I'm going to make it something that's not black, but something that looks a little bit cleaner. What about, no, that was ridiculous. I don't know why I did that. I'm going to leave the white. I'm going to leave this marked off here on the daily because we know that this is more daily support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type daily, and I'm color matching them so I know what type of level we're approaching when price is actually trading at that level, which you can see is we're trading above daily support now. So we could look to take a long position from literally this level of support where price is currently trading at, right? I'm going to add another one right about here. And again, notice the overlap here on daily level of support. I'm going to do daily. I'm going to lock it. And for now, that's about it. I don't want to add more. I think I'll just do maybe this one last level right about, I feel like 1726 is more accurate. Even though this would be this right here. I'll put it at 1725, call it a day. Daily. Now, the reasoning behind me putting only 3 levels instead of completely marking off my chart is because there's no point, right? Price is trading within this range. There's no point in me putting a level of support on the daily way down here. There's no point of that, right? Again, it's all about keeping your charts clean, because the main thing that we're trying to read here is price, and we're trying to see where price is going to head to. Really, you don't even need to use your moving averages. We're mainly reading price and price action itself, looking at where price could potentially head to next. And in this situation, it looks very clear that, hey, we're rejecting this 1748 on the weekly, and we're rejecting this 1760 on the daily. We could probably head up to this 1790. It looks very, very clean and clear. Now, in the next video, what we're going to be doing is pretty much going over the 4-hour time frame and the hour time frame, and seeing how we can mark off those levels.